I saw Jerry's video. He was like, I promise you, if you make 100 offers, you will get one deal. One deal. And that's all you need to change your life. And I was like, I'm going to take him up on that. Because I don't think so. But I'm going to take him up on it because I hate every other marketing strategy. Nothing else has worked. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to stick to it until I make the 100 offers. And I'm going to DM him saying that it didn't work.
So tell us a little bit about your start in real estate. What did that look like? And what was that learning process for you to find out about wholesale real estate or real estate, and then the things you did to learn and then take action?
Yeah, no, definitely. So originally, I'm from Cuba, and I moved here when I was younger, to Miami, like most Cubans do. And I just lived there my whole life. About 7, 8 months ago, I was like, man, I don't know what to do with my life. I graduated high school. I'm not in college. My parents think I'm a disappointment. I'm broke. I literally have a screenshot of me having 62 cents in my bank account. And I was like, and so I really got to the root of it, of like, what am I good at? Not necessarily what do I like to do, but what am I good at? And I really had to internally develop myself. And I said, well, I'm very well spoken. At least I like to think so. So how can I use that? Well, I could go do sales. So I started getting into sales and all that stuff. And then I realized, because I started seeing more videos on my channel, my YouTube about Jerry and then Jamil and Pace. So I was like, if I just implement these sales into wholesaling and I just make a bunch of offers, that was around the time where Jerry started saying, if you make 100 offers, you'll get a deal. So if I just implement that, should work, right? So I did. It's not, the path wasn't directly like that. I had a lot of shiny object syndrome. So I started trying to do dispo and then this and that, and a lot of different strategies, texting, calling. But at the end of the day, I met a friend of mine and he said, just come do acquisitions, do on market. And then from there, I saw Jerry's video. He was like, I promise you, if you make 100 offers, you will get one deal. One deal. And that's all you need to change your life. And I was like, I'm going to take him up on that because I don't think so. But I'm going to take him up on it because I hate every other marketing strategy. Nothing else has worked. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to stick to it until I make the 100 offers. And I'm going to DM him saying that it didn't work. It did. So I think it was offer number, I counted it. It was like 67, 66, around that range. And it was a house in Cape Coral, Florida. And at the time, I didn't have buyers. I didn't have anything. So I relied on my friend to dispo my deals. So what I would do is I would call a bunch of people in a day, and every hot lead that would consider taking a lower offer, because how Jerry says, find the bottom. Everyone that kind of told me, well, if you're around this price point, we can make it happen. So I would just take it back to him, and then he'd say, offer this, offer this, offer this. So I'd go back and I'd offer it. And then eventually one of them hit. I offered 255, and he was like, man, the seller is so desperate right now to get rid of this house. Screw it. Sorry. So he took it, 255, and then I sent it to my friend Zach, and then he didn't find the buyer for it, but he essentially found the guy that found the buyer for it. So it was a 3-way split, but I didn't care. It was my first deal. I had never seen success before that. So I was like, I'm ecstatic. I don't care who found the buyer, how they found the buyer. They found them on the corner of the street.
Yeah.
They bought it, we closed, and I got paid. And man, from there, it was just momentum train. It just kept rolling.
Good for you. That's great. And I love that you took me up on that challenge. Because I think there's what's interesting about it. So just if you guys haven't heard this before, sometimes I'll put out this challenge and I'll basically say, hey, if you make 100 bona fide offers, like put a number in front of a seller or an agent, 100, And there is some time frame to that. Like it does need to be in like a 30-day window, ideally, because what that's doing is it's forcing you to get to about 5 a day. It's less about like a numbers game. I think there's a numbers game to it. Like it's just a widget, and at some point out of the 100, the stars are going to align and someone's going to say yes. But it's less about the numbers game of it, and it's more about you showing up. Like when you make 65 offers in a 30-day window on your path to 100, you're actually bringing something to the table that most people aren't willing to do. And it's more about you saying, I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to trust the process. I'm willing to pick up the phone again. And I honestly think my honest opinion about it is it's more about like the universe or the law of attraction or God or whatever your views are. It's more about you being rewarded for your effort is why you're getting that deal, because you're paying a price that most people just aren't willing to do. And I think when you just show up to anything, when you show up and you apply yourself, you are going to see a result. There's going to be a result from that. So, I think I've yet to see somebody actually do 100 offers and not get a deal within the 100 offers. And that's why I kind of feel so strongly about it and feel like I can kind of stand behind it. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody that's probably done it and not gotten a deal, but it's more of a psychological thing for you to do the work and then be rewarded for doing the work. Does that make sense? Do you feel that was what it was for you, Yoel?
I think that's exactly what it was. I actually heard this one quote the other day, and I said it on Nathan's channel, and I think it's great. And I tell any new person this: if you haven't gotten your first deal yet, it's adding on to what Jerry said. The only thing standing in the way of you and the life that you could ever want is 100 offers. If you go out there and you make your 100 offers and you get a deal and you keep making 100 offers, you're going to get more deals because eventually your conversion gets better. It goes from 100 to 50, then maybe from 50 to 25. Now you're doing 3 deals a month. Then you're building relationships with these agents. Maybe they're bringing you pocket listings now. You're building up your bank account. Maybe you dive into some PPC. Mm-hmm. The only barrier between you and what you want is 100 offers, and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That's great. I think you're spot on with that. That's so true. And it is true, because what happens is 6 months later, one of those agents you talk to calls you back and says, "Hey, Yoel, remember, we talked a while ago, but I got a property that just came in my lap, and are you interested?" Like that'll start to happen. You'll improve your skills. So then, like you said, your close ratio improves. All the things will start to happen. That's just momentum. The more you do this, the more momentum you build. So super powerful. What I think is so powerful about how you got your first deal done, and I agree with this, is you don't feel like you have to know all the steps, all the processes, and that you have to do it all, the whole thing, all on your own. Like maybe align with one part of the process, focus on that, JV with another wholesaler, or align with a cash buyer who's willing to work with you and maybe look at properties, or go out there and tell you exactly what their number is, or whatever it might be. Just figure out for you what that big rock is that you need to put in. What's that big action step that you need to take? And then hyper focus on that. And then when that happens, reach out and rely on the other resources around you to, get that deal to the finish line. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I think people that do that, it seems to me like when I work with a lot of people and I interview a lot of people, it seems to me like in the beginning, that's how people tend to get to their first deal the fastest. And so I love that that's what you did, Yoel, on your deal there. And maybe you continue with that for a little while and then slowly start to say, okay, well, how do I own the whole process? How do I start to build my own buyers list? How do I not have to rely on JV so much and do the whole deal and keep all of the profit? But it's developmental. How do you developmentally progress from wherever you're at today to that next phase?
Yeah, definitely. So in the beginning, I really suggest guys go make friends with somebody not 100 steps ahead of you, 1 step ahead of you, 2 steps ahead of you. Maybe somebody that has those 10, 15, 100 buyers and ask them, hey, listen, I want to bring you deals exclusively for you to sell for maybe a month or two. Can you tell me exactly how you run your numbers so I could go out there and offer it and bring you opportunities? You don't think anyone's going to want to take that, jump on
Oh
that?
yeah. They'll jump on that. Yeah.
Of course, it's free leads. It's free deals, basically. All they got to do is grab it and send it. So, and in return, they just help you out in that process, you know?
Yeah.
So go make friends with people like that. That's what I did, you know? And eventually, at some point, I was that guy. I was that guy giving out a buy price. And now I'm at a point where I do the whole process by myself, A to Z. You know, my last 3 deals have been myself, A to Z. So, but you have to get there slowly. And even just making offers, sometimes even just making offers, you'll find buyers that are agents as well. You know,
Yeah.
you'll find agents that are investors, and that's a buyer on your list. You know, sometimes as well, if you have a good deal and you really want to find your own buyer because you know you have a smoking deal, and you go on PropWire, you can pull a list on there. You know, it's free, and then just start TTPing.
Yeah, that's so cool. And your first deal, I mean, you didn't mention it, but it wasn't even that much. You split it 3-way and made, what was it, $2,500 on that first one?
Yeah, because there was also a Gator. I made $2,500. But you know what? I have done bigger deals since then. And like right now, I'm closing on a 10K deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, and it sucks to say, but I'm like, okay, you know, nothing will feel happier than that first deal. I don't care if it's $500, $2,000, $1,000,000. Nothing will feel better than that because it's that proof of concept. It's that holy shit, I did it, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think it doesn't even matter that it was $2,500. It could have been 25,000 or 250,000. It's less about that and more about just feeling that sense of accomplishment, going through the whole process. And that's that proof of concept that's very powerful. So that's what I was going to point out was, you know, that's a hallmark moment. That's a transformational moment doing that deal, because now you sit back and you say, okay, now how do I go do this over and over again, multiple times a month? How do I take on the whole process A to Z like you're doing now? And it just is it's that springboard into the business that's so powerful. So I tell people all the time, it doesn't even matter. Just go through the process of that first deal, make what you can, but it's less about that, more about the process.
Just transact. And then after that, you know, Jerry's always broken it down. Like there's different phases to your wholesale business. You know, you have the first deal phase. You just need to transact. And right now is where, you know, maybe a lot of us are, including myself, we're in the lone wolf stage. You know, that's that hustler season. You know, I'm making offers 24/7 now. You know, I'm not even so much focused on finding buyers. I already have my buyers. I know what they'll pay. So it's like I'm just out there slanging offers 24/7. And that's how it's got to be. You know, I'm up at night till 12, 1 a.m. finding properties, scraping properties to offer on the next day. And so that way I could wake up and dial.
Yeah.
And it could be hard. It's not easy. But how bad do you want it? You know? So
yeah, and you're now full time doing the business. And what's next for you? What's your big goals this year, 2024?
So this year I actually set a number. I want to make 300 grand this year. 300K. If you break it down, it's 25K a month, and then you got to reverse engineer it. If I want to make 25K a month, how many offers do I have to make? Well, I know I could probably for sure do one deal if I make 100 offers. So I need to make 200 offers. Broken down by day, that's 10 offers a day. For somebody that, if you're full time in this, that's cake.
Yeah.
I could do that in 3.5 hours.
Yep.
You know, one call offers. Sit there on the phone, 20 minutes average per call. That's cake. And then that's how you get to that number. You know, you got to reverse engineer it.
Well, will you reach out to me when you hit that goal? Because I want to have you back on the channel and talk to you about hitting that milestone. And I think you're going to, because you've, like you said, you reverse engineered it. You know what you got to do. Now it's just a matter of showing up every day and putting in the work. And you're on track. I mean, that's a fantastic goal. Super proud of you, Yoel. Guys, leave a comment and say, Yoel, you're a flipping genius. Thank you for sharing your insights. I love, you're very inspirational. It's great to see you take these lessons you're learning and be willing to share with us, how you've gone from where you were to now where you are today, and just building a life, your own life, feeling the sense of purpose and control that, you're in control of the ship that you're sailing in. And man, when you can feel like you're not just being acted upon or in a reactive place in life, I mean, that's so encouraging. That's so motivating. I mean, like, you jump out of bed excited for the day because you feel like you're building something that doesn't have any kind of ceiling on it. And I love that. That's great.
Yeah. And I have so many goals other than just money. I want to, it's not just about the money. It's about how you impact the people around you.
Yeah.
And
awesome. Yeah. Great.